Welcome, everybody, to Dueling ACES for April 17, 2023.
Already.
Yes, sir. See, I told you, you got a pretty solid view of that room, Adam. It looks
I
good.
wasn't worried about the view. It's just, the comfort in having both of us on the screen when she does the show.
Nice. Well, let's get things kicked off right away by introducing our special guest from 609 Sports Talk, Mr. Sam. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Doing good. Thank you for having me on the show tonight. Real excited to get some sports talk in here.
Oh,
don't be none of that.
We try.
You came to the wrong place.
I came to the wrong place? Oh, no.
Hey, just like our promo shows. Get a glass, grab a snack, kick back, relax, and enjoy the ride. So why don't you go ahead and give us a, shout out plug, give up a little bit of your awesomeness of your sports talk show when you guys are on and your regularly scheduled events.
Well, of course, George, as you know, unfortunately, right now, our main platform is gone. We're in the process of renewing it, getting it back up and running. But we do have, as of right now, a Facebook group called 609 Sports Talk. It's a public group. People are more than welcome to join in whenever they want. We try to post some content in there as of right now. But we also have our Instagram, which is, of course, 609_Sports Talk. And, of course, also we have a Twitter, which is at 609 Talk. When we return to which we don't right now, we're kind of in the to be determined of when our shows will return to the air because of some issues we've had. But we try to stay faithful to Saturday nights, Thursday nights, and Tuesday nights. But if we have to move some stuff around due to our host schedules, we make it happen. We cover it all for you guys, for people. Wrestling, football, basketball, hockey, baseball, the whole 9 yards. So 609 Sports Talks, the Facebook group, and there will be eventually another page to be brought back, which we have to bring back. We're still in the process of it. But that's where you can always find us.
Yeah, and it is a very good show. It is a great show. I've caught it now several times. And you guys, I love the in-depth. I mean, you guys are heavy on the Philly, which you guys really get into some good depth and a good detail. And of course, with today's signing, it just seemed to go hand in hand and not have you on, not invite you and say, hey, we know that you'll have a lot of nitty gritty and a lot of backstory of how this came about for this.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited
about the Hertz contract. So,
yep.
I mean, it's just another Brinks truck or 3 backing up to another house at this point. So, like I said, for everybody who watches us, definitely
all 5 people.
Oh, funny. We've done a lot better than that.
7 people, Adam. 7.
Every other 1 matters, right?
Right.
Hey, it's those emails that George has that he's just signing into Facebook.
Are we talking burner accounts?
Yeah. Spam, you name it.
Yeah, whatever it takes. 220, 221.
Yeah.
Oh, a year ago yesterday, we got Kirk.
Damn, already?
Oh, it's already been a year?
Yep. A year ago yesterday, we got the captain.
Wow. I can't believe it's been a year already.
You'll see him poke his head up here occasionally. He's my obnoxious pitbull.
So vicious.
Kirk,
yeah, he's awesome.
George has met him. He's aggressively friendly.
Yep.
Friendly.
Drooler.
Extraordinaire.
Yep.
He is. Oh.
Reminds me of my roommate's dog. He's just aggressively stupid, though.
What? What'd I do?
Seems like a fan favorite right there.
That is the captain.
That's the captain.
Well, his name's Kirk. He's the captain.
There you go. Okay, of course, Kirk, man.
Sorry, I'm the only one in this group that doesn't watch any of that stuff or doesn't care.
How do you not know Captain Kirk?
I know who it is, but I don't care because I don't get into that Star Trek, Star Wars, none of that crap.
The shelter named him Kirk. We just didn't change his name. And so
I thought it was
I called
something
him
that
captain.
I thought you were like a big, Star Trek buff or something.
No, I mean I like it, but I don't have like the outfits in my closet or tribbles anywhere or
Not yet.
no.
Not going to those conventions like every other month.
I didn't name my third born child Spock. Like
Oh man.
Poor kid, if there ever has anybody ever names their kid that, I swear.
Oh man.
Oh my Lord.
Too funny.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
I mean, we like Star Wars, but that's about the extent of it.
Well, I mean,
don't get me wrong.
does-
I am a nerd, full-fledged nerd. However, there are limitations to it. Like I know better.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, I'm in on that. There's definitely limitations too. I mean, like I'm like you, Star Wars. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nerd. I'm that kind of stuff's all me too.
I like all kinds of stuff, but man, I'll tell you what, some of these people that like it even goes into sports. There was somebody I saw that named their kid after like a Formula One driver.
Okay then.
Alrighty.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's just too far.
Well, let's think of this. Let's think of this one. What about after the NLCS home run last year? How many people in the Philadelphia area probably named their son Bryce?
Now, see, my son Bryce was actually named before Bryce Harper was called up in 2011.
I figured.
I actually went with the Bryce before Bryce Harper.
You had the Bryce before the Bryce.
Mm-hmm. So it was just kind of ironic that worked out that way, and somebody kind of took a liking to knowing that there was a famous athlete that was named Bryce, and of course, he's like, "Well, okay, well, his favorite number, of course, is 3, and when Harper went to Philly and he's got number 3, yeah, somebody got a new jersey and new hat and everything. It's like, oh, it's all Bryce Harper everything, and he loves it.
Is he back yet, or is he still rehabbing?
He so as of right now, he's ahead of schedule with the way he's been taking at bats, but now there's the only issue that's holding him back is him sliding, because there's still fear if he slides head first, there's fear of him rupturing that UCL tendon again. So
Right.
Trying to work on that, but according to Rob Thompson just a few days ago, he might not even go do a rehab assignment. He may just be activated and get back into the lineup.
Good, because I know they come to Cleveland, and I want to go to that series because the year he was with the Nationals I went to the game. I sat second row in the right field, down the right field line, and Jason Worth ended up playing because he was injured.
Oh, you got to make.
Yeah.
Sam, don't let George fool you. George lives vicariously through Bryce because George is old and fat, and Bryce is young and athletic.
Hey, I'm 70 pounds lighter. I don't want to hear it. I'm trying to work my way about another 50 so I can get on those roller coasters with him.
You are 70 pounds lighter because you stopped carrying Kelly around.
Oh.
You should have no problem getting on those coasters.
I fit on them.
I don't, so that's why I'm telling you. I know you ain't as big as me.
Is it because you're tall?
The shoulders. A lot of the shoulder harnesses can't. Like, I'm literally, the last couple of times I went, it's been like that far from being able to clasp whatever it is. I can't even suck it in.
Are you 6'2"?
6'6".
You're 6'6"?
Yeah.
He's a power forward.
Yeah.
6'6".
I don't think I've ever seen you stand fully up. Anytime I've been around you, you've been sitting down, so I never thought you were like that tall.
Yes, sir. 6'6" and about 320 pounds, depending on the day.
No wonder
Right.
you're angry. You should have been a linebacker, and here you are.
And I'm so mad I never played ball.
Ryan,
We got to understand in my school, like, you know, as big as I was walking around the hallways, you think the coaches would have been like, hey, come here. Like, we need to get you to like go try out, or we need you to go hit something. Like, come on. And no, they never did. I was too busy chasing tail anyways.
You could have chased more tail with a letter on your jacket.
I know that, but you know, I don't believe me. If we can go back and change things, that would be the one thing I would change is I'd play ball just to see if I could have went to college with it.
You could have played on Saturdays instead of living vicariously through them.
Yeah, I could have been playing at the stadium.
Right.
Yeah, but you'd have been playing in the era where you're getting your asses whooped by Ohio
Well, that
State.
would have been my luck. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think. The era, I don't even know. I'm not trying to do the math. Fuck all that. Excuse my
What year
language.
did you graduate?
01.
Okay, you and I graduated the same year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you'd have been. That was the Tressel era. That was the era where at the end of the one game, Tressel got the ball down to the 1 yard line and then took a knee with like 4 seconds left.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been happy.
You'd have been playing with Lloyd Carr.
I don't have a
Ooh.
problem with Lloyd. If it had been like the Rich Rod era, I'd have been like, screw this. I would have hit school, period.
I think you'd have been a senior when he was a first year coach.
Yeah, see, I probably would have already been like, the hell with this. I'm out.
no,
That was a rough stretch as a Michigan fan when that whole debacle went down.
Sir.
Worst hire ever.
Sir. Oh my God.
Oh, there he is.
Sir.
Got to get his attention.
Go see Mama. Go on.
Adam, you would have been all right.
Go see Mama.
Carr coached all the way through 2005. You would have been okay.
Okay.
You'd have been
What's
safe.
that?
You would have been safe. You would have been safe.
Thank God.
Carr went through 2005. You would have been safe.
Yeah, I think the best bowl game we would have had in that stretch was probably what? God, I can't. Orange Bowl, maybe? Can't
You guys
think
beat
back.
Texas in 04 or 05? No. 05 was the national championship game. But you guys beat Texas 04.
Was it 04?
04.
Don't forget, next year.
I know. I want to go so bad.
Yeah, I'm already like thinking about how much it's going to be. Like, how much do I got to save for that? Because I know the tickets are going to be outrageous.
They're not going to be as bad as you think.
No, but there'll be the certain ticket apps or whatever will be.
Yeah. My thought is just to drive up there
And get
then
tickets out.
catch somebody scalping them outside the stadium.
I'm hoping I got one of my connections that might be willing to come off a pair if they
Listen,
have extra.
If you get an extra one, let me know. I'll go.
I already planned on it. I was like, even like told, like I was even trying to get Zolt. He, you know, like, hey, meet us over there. We'll all sit together.
I want to go. I realize I will be the outlier in my Hook'em Horns t-shirt, but I feel pretty safe.
But you won't get nearly as messed with. Michigan fans ain't nearly as bad as other stadiums.
I don't think I'll get messed with. And to be quite honest, like if you're picking on Texas right now is like picking on the slow kid on your bus.
I don't think they're going to be that bad. Now, even though you got one more year of Quinn, you know, and then you'll have Archie.
Sam, welcome to Dueling Aces.
Oh yeah, I'm having a ball already just listening to this. This is fun.
I am a fan of the University of Texas. And I realize how bad they are. I'm not one of those delusional college football fans. I'm not like Ohio State fans who think that they should be given the crystal ball at the beginning of the year.
All just to lose in the playoff every year.
Yep.
Right?
Well,
but
And I am an Ohio State fan, but I know reality.
he's not a delusional one. I mean, he is slightly delusional, but it's okay.
Not when it comes to Ohio State, though.
for other reasons.
No, I'm delusional for other factors.
Yes.
I don't even know if I should name my college team now.
But
Temple?
Penn State.
No, you know, you guys know you got one of our local kids that's your quarterback.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Drew's gonna be fine.
Look,
I'm okay with Penn State. Like, listen, my grandparents love Penn State. I tell you what, I remember I was stuck on SVP's radio show for like 5 days, just glued to it, listening to everything when the Sandusky stuff happened.
Yeah, that was in fun times to go through.
What's up, Donnie?
And then seeing the documentaries that have come out about that and Joe Paterno afterward, like that was I've never had an issue with Penn State. I've always wanted to go to a whiteout. I thought that'd be cool to go to.
Yeah, that's always something I want to go to as well. I've never had the chance.
Yeah, well, I don't want to go to the one this year because that's my team playing up there for the whiteout, and that's the one game I'm nervous about this year. I don't care. It doesn't matter records. When it comes to the whiteout, it's just a different game, different atmosphere. You know.
I went down to West Virginia for Texas, West Virginia a couple of years ago, and I thought I was going to have to fight my way out of that stadium.
That bad?
It was bad.
Moonshine will do wonders, doesn't it?
Listen, you get them on enough moonshine and meth and those people.
So that's
what fighting their cousin.
Man, those people, oof, it was rough. Because that was one that Texas was winning and then coughed it up at the end.
So they gave you all kinds of flack.
Oh, it was bad. And then, but I tell you, I got my vengeance this year when they played Oklahoma. That was a glorious day.
Yeah. Put a beat down on them, didn't you?
They shut them out. First time in like 60 years, Oklahoma's been shut. I was bad.
That's insane.
Texas set 5 different records in that game in the Red River shootout this year. Wow. Which makes me worried for this year.
Right. Now, do you guys get Ohio State and Michigan both at home this year, or is it 1-1 for Penn State?
I'm not sure, but actually, I'll try to look it up. I'm not sure.
I think they go to Ohio State and play Michigan at home.
Yeah, I know the Michigan game's a whiteout.
I hate going to Ohio State. It's always a.
Hey, I did too, but we finally got our first win in 20 years. We know we beat them last year.
Yeah, but Penn State. I don't remember the last time they actually won at Ohio State. I know they came close a few years ago, but the biggest win they had over Ohio State was a few years ago, and they blocked that kick for a touchdown.
Yeah,
it's in Ohio State.
That should have sealed you a spot in the playoff.
Yeah,
I'm still mad about that.
But then they lose the following week to somebody. I can't remember if I may be mistaken.
Yeah, like you come down off that high and then you lose to like a Illinois or a Northwestern.
Yes, that's exactly what. But see, and as much as I'm a Penn State guy, that's the James Franklin way, man. I don't hate James Franklin like most Penn State fans, but he's not my favorite.
How is this seat? Is this seat that warm?
Apparently it's not. He just got a contract. Like what was it, a year or two ago?
Well, I mean, you just won the Rose Bowl, so
well, it's probably cooled off now.
Yeah.
Reason I think it's cooled off. The other reason
he did it, Vandy.
Oh, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not his biggest fan. I'm also not his biggest hater, like most people are. Like there are people that he's done no good for this program. He's been tremendous for this program and what they've done over the few years. But the other thing is, and I think it's going to help them a lot now that they're finally going to have a change at quarterback. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm the one Penn State fan. I absolutely could not stand Sean Clifford sometimes.
Yeah. Now, what's the vibe out there for Drew Allard, being that he's a kid from Ohio and that like we know how he is because we've seen him play in the playoffs here in the state championship games, whatever. Is there a big hype around this kid or?
Well, so last year, Penn State in the beginning of the year had a lot of games where they handled their opponents early. So
right,
Allard was getting a lot of late game snaps, and it wasn't just handoff to the running. They were letting him throw the rock a little bit. And from what people saw, there's a lot of excitement to see what he does as the QB1. there's a lot of excitement going on around here with that.
Hold on, Sam. I want to welcome Zoltan with better internet that some and worse spelling that others.
Well played.
I'm done.
Oh, well played.
That's going to
Well
change it
played.
on his background. Will probably be something totally different than the cruise ship, too.
Probably. By the way, all that noise was from the captain. I'm sorry.
Good Lord.
How y'all doing tonight?
How you feeling, buddy?
Living luck.
You get the
So
crud
you-
out of your
you-
system?
Shake the crud out.
Yeah. I got the crud out of my system, and then we hit 80 degrees in sunshine, and
Dude,
Crud's coming back because you got 40s.
And then you got
Yeah.
snow today.
the Met is nice. I don't know what you're talking about.
did you like wake up with Sam Elliott this morning and just hotbox a pack of non-filter Pall Malls and gargle moonshine?
You don't need to know what I do in my off time.
Outstanding.
That's none of your business.
Welcome back, sir.
Thanks. Good to be back.
I've
Good to be
missed you
back.
for the last 2 weeks.
Hey,
Did you?
I
Did
just-
you?
I
He
did.
hasn't been around.
I will tell you that somebody forgot to pay the cable bill, and that is why I have not been here for the past 2 weeks.
Ah, yes. Oh, well.
Somebody thought he paid the cable bill, but did not hit the hit the final button on the app to pay it.
That's good though. That means that my internet crack worked on two of you, if I had spelled it correctly.
It would have, because my internet was non-existent.
Yeah.
yeah, we
It
I mean,
was
it's not,
gorgeous during the perfect 10.
I already told him it was like you said, it was a bad Godzilla movie.
That was bad.
You were the cable. The cable bill was Russell Wilson. The cable company was Malcolm Butler.
I will tell you at 4:40 this afternoon, there were 3 Spectrum trucks outside my house, including a boom truck, until 7:25.
Oh boy!
And they
We're
are
still working on it.
And they are coming back to give me other equipment, no less.
You're just pissing them off.
No, it's turned into another Woodside incident. And I says, I don't want to go 17 weeks. And he said, neither does the supervisor. He remembers that nightmare. He said he doesn't want that again. I said, well, since we've been on since January 1, I said, we're getting pretty close. Just to let you know, we're into April. I said, we're getting pretty darn close to that 17 weeks again.
Maybe Vermilion just sucks.
No, because I did investigate with Breeze Line, and they went, "Oh, you did?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, they ran all their brand new lines through," and I was like, "Uh-huh." He said, "Yeah, we're going to make sure we get you up and running." He goes, "We might even have to boost you to 1,000." Twist my arm.
Right.
I'm not paying for it, but you can boost me to 1,000. He goes, "Listen, you're provisioned for 6." Okay, show me.
All right, so just now that Zoltan, I mean, Sam didn't know. He's our guest, and he said the word numbers, and we had to shut him down real quick.
And
Yeah,
I
With
I
all
appreciate y'all protecting my gimmick.
Yeah.
No, it's nothing against you, Sam. You didn't know. That's why we played it up that way.
No,
oh, it's all fun. It's all fun here.
It's all good. I mean, if you're a Philly guy, have at it.
And he is.
Because I just look at the numbers and I go, that's a lot of money. You look at the numbers and your team's got to pay it.
I'm right now just depressing myself over the Sixers score because they're down by 7.
Nah.
I'm bored.
It's early.
It's the Sixers.
Yeah. No.
It's the Doc Rivers led Sixers. Don't get me started. I'll probably talk. If we talk NBA, I'll talk about that later because they still drive me nuts.
Well, I mean, since I'm here now, let's have some fun with these numbers.
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna read off a little list here. Most practical guaranteed money in NFL history. Some of y'all know who number 1 is.
Who?
Yeah, we
That'd be
know.
Mr. Watson at $230 million.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea what the hell
Just-
you're talking
just-
Who's that?
about.
Number two is Mr. Murray at 109.5. Number 3
Isn't that the same
is
guy that's out for the like 3/4 of the season?
hang on. Don't ruin the punchline.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Slow the roll.
Number 3 is now Mr. Hertz at 179.3. Number 4 is the just previously mentioned Mr. Wilson at 161 million. And number 5, I'm not even going to call him Mr. It's Rogers at 150.8. So you got the list of the top 5. Are you happy with any of them other than Hertz right now? I guess my point is, of those 5, Hertz is the one you want, and you're just hoping nothing happens to him to make you think about him like you do the other 4.
Yeah, like the one thing you don't want to see, like what happened to Kyler Murray happened to Jalen Hurts.
Absolutely not.
If that happens, then don't get me wrong, Jalen Hurts as an arm talent has come light years from his rookie season in the NFL. But if you take that mobility factor out of quarterbacks like that's game, it's hard for them to adjust. And unless they have like really good arms, which I think Hurts has got a pretty decent arm for a guy who, if you just compare him from 2020 when he was drafted to now, it's light years better. Now, granted, yes, having guys like AJ Brown may help that, but he's definitely, you don't want to see something like that happen. Now, granted, out of the names you said, so the top 5, just so I'm clear, Watson, Murray, Hurts, and then it was Wilson and Rogers, right?
Yep, you got it.
Well, okay, so Wilson, that's a dumpster fire situation that we don't even need. That'll take years off my life to discuss. But Murray, I mean, the fact that Murray needs clauses in his contract to actually look at film was kind of hilarious. Even though they took the clause out, it was still funny that it was there in the first place. Watson, that whatever this point with him. But yeah, I mean, Hurts right now is, I mean, I guess out, but if it wasn't Hurts, would you go Rodgers as the other one you would want at this moment?
No, I wouldn't. But, you know, the show knows my feelings on Rodgers.
Yeah, well, trust me, I'm not a Rodgers guy either.
He's a Lions fan, if that tells you anything.
But it's like how you said it. If it's not Hurts, then who out of those other 4?
Yeah, who do you want? Yeah.
Well, let's see how Watson does this season, then we'll come back to this conversation.
I do agree with that. I do think Watson
Because he didn't get a fair shake last year, you know, with having only, 6 games or whatever it was?
Absolutely not. And now this, and not only that, he only had legitimately, don't get me wrong, I like Donovan Peoples-Jones, but I think getting Elijah Moore is going to help him a lot.
Agreed.
I think Elijah Moore was buried in New York in that depth chart, which how people and any Jets fan can, if anybody thought Corey Davis was a better option at wide receiver than Elijah Moore, they don't watch football.
You said it without saying it. Elijah Moore is going to help Watson, and certainly Watson is going to help Elijah Moore.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Or just getting out of New York is going to help Elijah More.
Getting away from it. That has to do with the Jets will help anybody.
Yeah. I will ask this question since you are the Philly guy. 5 million or 5 years, $255 million. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal.
Oh, it is.
As quarterbacks, it just goes up. How are you feeling about the deal now, today, as opposed to how would you have felt about this deal a year ago?
Oh, is it better now?
Okay. Well, no, it's a good question. So let me explain this first. Initially, when drafted in that draft, I was not a fan of this. I was a huge Wentz guy. I loved Carson, but then you saw, of course, what happened with that situation. I was not sold on Jalen Hurts, the quarterback. I know he had a great college career. He was good at Bama, and then we know, the whole benching, moving to Oklahoma, and then in Oklahoma, he was really good. I wasn't a fan initially. After 2020, a little bit of my mind was changed when he had that game against Arizona against Kyler. He played really well. So I'm like, okay. Then, of course, the Wentz trade, and then 2021. If this was in 2021, I would probably be heated because I thought he was good in 2021. but wasn't near what he was last year. I mean, last year he was easily the top 2 in the MVP race. I don't think there's not a lot of other quarterbacks that were as good as him last year. I mean, the ones that I can think of is, in my opinion, the only one I could put over him, and now I could say it's because they were in the Super Bowl, is Mahomes, and that's because Mahomes beat him, but he went toe-to-toe with him in that Super Bowl, and most statistics played him. So I think the deal, if this was last year, I probably wouldn't agree with it because you didn't know yet. Like, you saw the flash. But I think most of us can also agree, when they made the playoffs, they were the last team to make the playoffs. And when they went against Tampa, they didn't look like they should have deserved to have been there in the first place because the game was over by the second quarter. Because Tampa just kept moving the ball down the field on Jonathan Gannon's defense. But it was an ugly game the entire time. So they went into that offseason, and it's like, okay, he was good, but a lot of the game. But the Eagles didn't turn that season around until Shane Steichen and Nick Sirianni sat down and realized running the football was the key to success. Now, it was still the key to success this year, but it wasn't as bad because Hurts has developed himself as an arm talent, which is why mobile quarterbacks are my favorite thing. But as long as they prove to me they can have that arm later in their career, when those legs start to, I wouldn't say fail completely, but when it has to be dialed back, if they still have the arm and they can figure it out in the pocket, which Hurts clearly has, they'll be fine. But looking at it right now, this is exactly, look, if you take out I guess you could say the 4 years of Carson Wentz, the Eagles have not had a standout franchise quarterback in over 13 years. It's been over since 2010 when they traded McNabb. They have not had that consistency. And you're talking to someone who's sat between Stan Bradford, Mark Sanchez, Carson Wentz, Nick Foles, both times. It's a good deal for him. He earned the deal. He's 100% one of the best quarterbacks in the league now after what he just showed this past year. It's a good deal, and I won't go into the full contract, but I'll say from what it looks like for the next 4 years, it's another masterclass contract from Howie Roseman that's going to keep them in that contention window because people – and the reason it's not the biggest surprise is we all kind of expected this what the deal would look like. Somewhere with 5 years, somewhere around where the money was, and the average was right where it should be. The one thing I'm happy about, though, is they did this, and they have now set the market. They didn't wait for the market to get set because if Burrow, as much as I love Hurts, Joe Burrow is easily – talent-wise, maybe the second best quarterback in the league. And depending on your opinions on, Josh Allen and guys like that. But Joe Burrow is going to it's going to be astronomical what he gets. And then you got to think about Herbert. And then you got to think about still when it comes to mobile quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson. So it's a good deal for both sides. Hurts gets what, honestly, in my opinion, he deserved. And the Eagles did it at the right time before guys like Lamar, Burrow, and Herbert reset this market and made it probably even more mayhem than what the Browns did with Deshaun Watson.
Are we thinking that, like, now that Hurts gets this deal, like the quarterbacks you just named are going to be the next ones to get theirs, are we looking at the $300 million range?
You may. Honestly,
I mean, yeah, you might.
You're only 50 away at this point, or 45 now.
Well, all right. Well, let me ask you guys a question. Out of the three I named, how do you think all of them get something north?
No, I don't think Lamar gets it.
Wait, say that one more time.
I don't think Lamar gets as much as you. I don't think he's proven. You know what I'm saying? Burrow, I think, would be the one.
Oh, Burrow may blow Watson's guaranteed money out of the water.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. If they get to another Super Bowl, look out.
And just think of this: when it comes to Burrow, now I think we can mostly say this. Jalen Hurts had a great team around him this past season, right? Pretty much. Joe Burrow took a team who might as well have had the five of us as the offensive linemen, and he took them to a Super Bowl. And if their left guard could potentially block Aaron Donald, which is not easy to do, for a 10th second more, they have thrown the game-winning touchdown. He's the only guy that has gone toe-to-toe multiple times with Mahomes and has beaten him. He's going to get his money. Herbert, just because of his pure talent alone, is going to get his money.
Well, I think Herbert's thing is I think his coach is holding him back. They need to get rid of Staley.
I went to Eagles Chargers in 2021. I hate Brandon Staley. And that was one of the Chargers' perfect games of the year where they didn't punt the whole game. But I cannot stand it. I cannot stand Brandon Staley. I just can't stand him.
Well, here's a question for you too. How worried are you guys now after losing both your OC and your DC?
Well, okay. Well, first of all, my opinion on Jonathan Gannon is going to be a wild one because I'm probably one of the few Eagle fans, which as good as that talent was, I cannot stand him. I think he, even with all that talent, gets outcoached by either elite, like now, granted, it's hard to stop elite quarterbacks, elite coaching, whatever. But you got to at least be somewhat productive in that area, and Jonathan Gannon is not. The Eagles, under Jim Schwartz, who ironically is now the Browns' defensive coordinator, when he was here, the Eagles were the best run defense in all of football. Teams averaged like 49 rushing yards a game on the Eagles. Now they're averaging north of like close to 2021. I think teams were averaging close to 110 almost because that's how bad it was. Gannon's biggest thing with his scheme is getting beat deep, and that's the safeties are back. The corners play off coverage when Bradbury and Slay are known to be press cover corners, and they don't use them to their strengths. Now, granted, they're still very good at what they do.
Right.
But he relied so much on that pass rush last year, which, it was just so much him and his team, man. So losing Gannon and bringing in Sean Desai, I think they honestly, I can make now, it won't show because the side's not going to, they lost Gardner Johnson. They lost Gardner. They lost Kaiser White. Mark. But for this reason, what happened today, we knew was going to be the case because of this exact, and that was giving Hurts what he needed to be paid because we didn't go into a quarterback carousel again like we have for the past decade. So, am I saying the size of the possibly, depending on the talent that he'll have available to him, there could be some cracks because, I mean, it's hard to replace a defensive tackle who got you double-digit sacks because they don't do it much outside of Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
And Steichen, in terms of losing Steichen, I think he's the more of the loss because he was the one that put this game plan together years ago when they struggled out of the gate and they lost that game out to the Raiders. And after that, they kind of turned it around. They started running the football easily 55% of their plays. They did it this year, but again, this year was a little easier because again, they did get AJ Brown. They had another year of Devontae Smith. They turned Miles Sanders into a 1,000-yard rusher finally because I thought he could have been that his whole time. Losing their coordinators is bad. But unlike 2017, they replaced them with better options than what they did the last time. Like when they lost Frank Reich, they replaced him with Mike Trout. That was the worst decision in the world. And then Doug Pearson tried to replace that with Press Taylor, which would have been even worse than Mike Trout. And of course, it also didn't have that Carson Wentz was hurt every year after 2017. But in terms of their coordinators, Brian Johnson, I'll tell you this: if the Eagles did not promote Brian Johnson offensive coordinator, there were already 6 other teams lined up to give him the job as their offensive coordinator. He is well regarded around the NFL from what his offensive coordinator work he did with Florida. Because, I mean, we know Kyle Trask, the backup quarterback for the Bucs, his last year in Florida, Brian Johnson was his offensive coordinator, and Trask was getting Heisman compared talk.
Right.
But he was. So it's not like Brian Johnson hasn't called plays. Now, he hasn't called them in the NFL? No. Do we know if he's going to be very successful at it? No, we don't. But I'm willing to go into that and take a gamble on him because I think he's a very young, bright head coach. Not to mention, he's known Jalen Hurts basically their whole lives.
Right.
It's kind of like the Brett Brown, Ben Simmons thing when he coached his dad or something, which I don't want to talk about Ben Simmons too much because that'll be a year.
Sore subject.
Very sore subject. But I think I do love the Sean Desai hire. It's not like he's a rookie DC. He had a Bears defense a couple years ago that had way less talent than the Eagles do right now, and they were one of the top passing defenses in the league. Here, he's inheriting a defense that at least has 2 Pro Bowl corners, still a very good defensive line that is anchored by Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Fletcher Cox, even though I still think that Fletcher Cox should have been off the Eagles 2 years ago. I love him, but the production is slipped. But after losing Hargrave, you kind of knew.
Yeah.
But, no, I think losing the coordinators, I think they were very good for what they did. But the one thing I'm concerned about with both of them is, well, I'm not concerned about Gannon because I'm actually happy he's going because I hate Jonathan Gannon. I'm concerned about Steichen if the Colts don't draft a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that's, draft talk's another situation we can get into at some point during the show. I don't want to rush it along or anything. You know what I'm saying? Just
And you want? Go for it.
Just
you want to turn into it?
well, go ahead,
before we get into that,
Please, God, no.
I would like to go back and just reiterate a point that Sammy made a little bit ago, which was, number one, you guys set the market as opposed to letting the market set your guy. So we got the three big names.
I'm like, he's muting himself. What the
Who
hell?
cut his mic?
I didn't.
Off. You got the three big names still left:
Right.
Herbert, Burrows, Lamar. Who's next?
George, he's still having his Godzilla issues. Or did you boot him?
No, I swear I didn't.
I would think the next one, it would have to be Burrow or Herbert, honestly.
It's going to because Cincinnati, because I think would mostly we all agree about Burrow's probably the best out of the remaining three.
I would agree.
So if they don't get him now, like let's say Herbert goes next, the only way that these teams, and this is what I'm happy that the Eagles did, because if the Eagles didn't, they would have had done the same thing. These teams may have to go the route of the Chiefs and give them this ridiculously long contract just to space the money so they can stay competitive.
Right.
Because that's when you pay a quarterback, yes, not everybody's the Patriots. You are not going to get 14 years and 19,000 Super Bowls like that. But the reason they did is Brady did take those pay cuts to get other players in. But not only that, there are some quarterbacks that don't care about that. They want their money, and that's when you lose players. Now, granted, and like I said, I'm not saying the Eagles didn't lose players. They did. I mean, like I said, they lost Hargrave, Gardner Johnson, even though the Gardner Johnson situation is really weird. But Kaiser White, they lost a lot. Isaac Seumalo, I don't think Eagle fans are upset enough about, because I think Isaac Seumalo is one of the best right guards in the league. And
he's the one who went to Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, he went to Pittsburgh, and they got a really good player. And ironically, they actually signed also Nate Herbag, who was another former Eagle, but he wasn't with the team last year. They got their offensive line. Kenny Pickett may actually have 5 seconds to throw the football next year because of this. But yeah, like some of these teams now, they're like Burrow. I think the Bengals may have to go approach and see how the Chiefs did this with Mahomes. This ridiculously big contract, but you space it out through a decade's worth of years, because if not, how are you going to compete? And not to mention, the Bengals have two wide receivers they're going to have to try to keep too.
What, Higgins and Boyd, other than because Jamar's still got another year or two, doesn't he?
Yeah, but either way, when Jamar's time comes, the Eagles, and same thing with the Eagles with Devontae Smith. This is why and I won't bring up the cap numbers per year, but if someone else wants to bring those up, go right ahead. That's
look at that thing. Look at him smiling.
I'm not going to look. I'm not going to take away the thunder on something that's nothing to do with me. I'm just going to say the numbers from what I've seen. It's ridiculous that Howie Roseman found a way again to manipulate this.
Yeah, we kind of went into it a couple weeks ago as far as just the various ways that teams have just learned how to get around numbers. Some numbers you cannot get around. That's just how it is. I will say I kind of thought Herbert might be the next one, just because I think his contract would at least be similar to what we're already seeing. I don't think he's going to try to shoot the moon, because he just hasn't been there yet.
Right.
Burrows, like you said, Burrows might wait to see if Baltimore breaks the bank. Just wait and see, because if they do, that's what he'll go for.
But I don't think Baltimore will.
I don't know that they will either, but if you're Burrow, just sit there. You're not hurting anything by just waiting.
Yeah,
because like we said, the numbers just get higher.
Yeah, and this has happened every year in the league for the last quarterbacks. The number's going to go up every year. They're never going to go. No one is ever going to take the team-friendly deal where it's like, oh yeah, I'll sign for like 180 million. No one's going to do that. These guys all want to get paid because again, you're playing a contact sport that could get you. If you, one bad injury, your career could be over. So they want to make them and their family are taken care of.
We just went over it again a couple weeks ago where it was like, look, you're coming off your rookie deal. This is where you get your money.
Yeah,
because this is it. Because you don't know what's happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you get through this deal, and then if you want to dial it back and say, okay, let's get the team around me, that's what you do. I don't begrudge players for getting their money because they've lived their entire life to get to this deal.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Lamar is like, is he going to expect to get paid more than Jalen did?
This is where it gets interesting.
This is very
because who's been to the Super Bowl? Who hasn't?
Who's got an MVP?
Here's the thing. The rumor going around was that these numbers that Hurts just signed for is very similar to what Lamar turned down. I will say this. That came from Schefter, who's been known to carry teams' water on occasion.
Oh, yeah.
So that could definitely just be a thing where he's getting it out there as a favor to the team.
Maybe Lamar will text them and say, delete my number.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But first of all, so the thing with Lamar Jackson is, number one, I'm not a Lamar guy. You want to talk about mobile quarterbacks, he's the identity of the mobile quarterback. Lamar Jackson has had two seasons where he has not finished. He was just hurt again. That's number one where you have to put into this. I may get disagreements with this, but Lamar Jackson is not the passer that Jalen Hurts already is. Lamar Jackson averaged 161 passing yards a game last year. Eventually, and yes, running the football is all cute when you're early on in the season when you're trying to figure everything out. But when you get into the deep days of December and into the postseason, when you're going up against a Burrow, an Allen, a Mahomes, you're not going to be able to win shootouts by running the football every time. You're going to have to throw the ball and go into a shootout with them. I don't think he is capable of doing that. Not to mention, it doesn't help that. And people keep giving on the Ravens and saying they haven't brought him a lot of wide receiver help. Now, granted, I know they signed Odell a week or two ago. Cool. But wide receivers may straight fact does not want to play with him because of how inaccurate with the football he is.
No arguments here.
I will say this. Lamar's got talent I could not believe. But at the same time, Hurts turned a corner.
Oh, yeah.
Hurts evolved. Let's put it that way.
Oh, you're putting it perfectly. Absolutely. And I mean, it's not just a leap from, and it's been a leap every year. It's a leap from 2020 to 2021 getting the Eagles to the playoffs when, honestly, in my opinion, probably shouldn't have been. And then the leap from this year to last year. But again, now granted, most of these quarterbacks, what helps the quarterback when they're young or when they're trying to take that next leap? It's the traditional number one wide receiver. The Bengals got Joe Burrow, his buddy Jamar Chase. The Eagles went out and got Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. That's the biggest problem here. But again, if you're a wide receiver and you see a guy who doesn't have the greatest accurate arm and doesn't throw the ball that well, do you really want to go to play with that? Because wide receivers want to get paid too. And in a run-heavy style offense, they're not going to. So, Odell's going to help them if he's healthy, but I'm not going to sit here and act like.
Well, question is how long can he be healthy for? Can he get to a full season? You good, George? Can you talk?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure you weren't having a Godzilla moment over there.
I mean, he still might be having that, but at least he can talk.
Yeah. I'm on the Wi-Fi antenna weird. I'm not Ethernet hooked up, but the Ethernet speed's 200 and at least the Wi-Fi is 500.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
He's got the phone tethered.
Dial up.
It's almost coming to that. Almost. Probably be better off. So where does this leave them in the draft? I know we want to get there.
Here's a going real quick. I have a question for all you guys. If you were the Ravens and it came down to trading some type of compensation to Arizona for DeAndre Hopkins or giving Odell the 1 year, $18 million that they gave him, which one would you have done?
D-Hop all day.
I was going to say, I thought the Browns were going to pull the trigger on D-Hop.
They're still saying there's a chance.
Because the reason I asked that is there was a rumor from a pretty credible source that Lamar went to the Ravens and said, get me both of these guys and we'll talk. And the Ravens said they could only afford to do one, and now we saw which one they did, which I think was a mistake.
Yeah, I don't see like Odell. He didn't do much when he was here in Cleveland.
He hasn't done anything much since he left the Giants.
Well, that too.
Right. And he said, I loved his press conference was, it's like, I was successful in LA. It's like, dude, not really. All you did in LA was you sat on a bench half of the time and got a ring. Okay. That's really not showing your numbers. You're not a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
No.
You don't even think that you're going to get there. That's not going to happen.
It also helped that he was playing next to Cooper Kupp as well.
True.
So when Kupp's out drawing the coverage, Odell's one-on-one with maybe the third corner on the team. I would hope he that matchup.
Sorry, I had to step away for a half a second. What was the question?
I was saying, so there was a rumor going around that the Ravens and Lamar talked again a few weeks ago before signing Odell, and they said that I would like to try to get both him and DeAndre Hopkins. The Ravens said they can't. They can only do one, and they oddly chose for Odell. I asked for the Ravens, which one would you have done? Sign Odell 1 year or
Okay, so the problem with Hopkins, you're giving up assets for him, and he's going to be 31. That's my biggest problem with Hopkins. Odell, you got him just for the money, and you can walk away whenever you feel like it.
Yeah.
That's Odell, and at the same time, though, if I'm getting Odell, I'm going to try to pair it with something else. Take a flyer on a kid in like the third or fourth round, something. You
got Rashad Bateman.
I do like Rashad Bateman.
There you go.
But again, they still need more. I mean, to be fair, they still have Mark Andrews, who's going to be Lamar's number one target, regardless, because he's been his number one target basically since he's been there. But they still need something else. DuVernay, to me, he's just a returner. But they need to go get something a little bit better. If there's another vet out there, maybe. I'm not sure who's available right now. But
I
honestly don't know. I was going to say, did Thielen ever get picked up?
Yeah, Thielen's in Carolina.
Thiel's he's the Panther.
Ah, that's right. He's going to have Richardson thrown to him shortly.
Don't you start that shit with me.
You said
No, as I said from day one, Bryce Young will be going number one to Carolina.
Well, that's why when I put that in our chat that he cut off all those rest of those visits, like kind of suspicious. A week before the draft.
Well, I mean, he knows he's going 1 or 2. So, I mean, he's going 1.
I just can't get over the fact that there's those rumors going around that they said that I saw a guy on TikTok talking about it that there's rumors that Houston's not guaranteed to take a quarterback.
Houston just wants
somebody to trade up.
Somebody's willing to break the bank. That's all it is. Houston knows what they're doing at 2. They're probably taking Stroud. They're just seeing, hey, maybe somebody's going to offer him 10 picks.
Hey, look who's at the top of that list, Zolt.
Y'all have fun with that.
And there are 69 available players.
Oh, no.
Nice.
Jarvis Landry can rejoin Odell in Baltimore.
He may be the most appealing on this list.
I mean, they could just re-sign Sammy Watkins for a game.
I got to pull my oh my.
Then they already had Miles Boykin.
Oh God, yeah. Any Galladay, the corpse of Julio Jones, basically at this point.
Thought Ty signed with Dallas.
Nah, that was only for. I think it was only for last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's amazing how much he's fallen off, isn't it? Andrew Luck leaves Indy, and so does the career of T.Y. Hilton goes right out the door with him.
I'm not gonna lie, I may not have drafted Andrew Luck in fantasy the year he retired, so that was a lovely trying to figure out that fantasy season when your best quarterback retires before the season.
Yeah, not much out there.
I think I take my chances with the draft in this situation as well.
Yeah.
Where's Baltimore picking at? Like 18 or something?
No,
I'm in the team.
22. 22 is where
I was
we
off a little bit, but we know as Browns fans, the 22nd pick hasn't been good to us.
Oh man,
I think that's when we got what? Was that where we got Manziel and then we got somebody else? It was like, or Brandon Whedon. It was like all those quarterbacks we didn't pan out. We took 22.
Oh no,
19.
just hey, you can't screw up the pick if you don't have one.
We don't. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have one. That's right. No Cleveland. First round. We can
As of
skip
right
Thursday
now.
night. We can totally skip Thursday night.
I'm still going to watch. I still got Carolina.
Yeah, that's true.
Worst part is I have to watch the beginning and the end.
And yeah.
Be a very it'll be an interesting draft.
Is it my internet messing up or is it everybody else's?
I think it's everybody's.
That was weird. There must
Yeah,
be a fun spot or something.
Mine had a hiccup there. It was weird.
Gotta love good old internet.
What do we got next, fearless leader?
Oh, I was going right into about the draft, and Zolt already went right on into your numero uno pick. So, it wasn't hard.
What did I do?
I'm sorry I followed the flow of conversation, boss. I won't do that again.
Nope, no, you were right on. You were right on. You were absolutely right on.
I'll say this since you're making me go into it. I did see a mock today that actually had Indy trading up one spot to Arizona.
Oh God! For what? Will Levis?
For Richardson.
I can't wait to the draft so we can finally stop doing this. Is it going to be this or is it going to be that? All these mocks, and it's like, all right, let's just get this shit over with.
I'm going to say this. I almost discounted that mock draft entirely because Robinson was there for Buffalo and Buffalo didn't take him.
Yeah, they definitely need a running back. But they got James Cook at the moment.
Yeah, that's what they got.
Literally.
They also signed Damian Harris from the Patriots, too.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's true.
From the Patriots, too.
Yeah, but you can't pass up a talent like Robinson, though.
Yeah, and as an Eagles fan, I've been hearing that in mock drafts for the past 3 months.
Yeah, because who is your starting running back at this point?
It'll be a combination. Well, the Eagles are they're kind of like New England used to be. They run a committee. They're right now the running backs that'll probably get a premier amount of touches will be Ed Gainwell, who had a really good postseason last year, Boston Scott, who really only shows up for 2 games a year, and that's against the Giants, and Rashad Penny, who they signed from the Seahawks.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they got Penny.
I definitely see them adding a running back because Penny and Scott are both on 1-year deals, and Gainwell will be entering his 3rd year rookie deal. So I could definitely see them adding one. I just don't see them drafting Bijan in the 1st round because it's not their philosophy. It's not how they run. They never do. They value running backs, but they value the line they're running behind more. They're not. I highly doubt they take Bijan, and they're definitely not taking him at 10.
Yeah.
They'll draft an O lineman, and all this area will just go insane.
All right.
Because I've seen a lot of the kid from Clemson, the defensive end Murphy, going to 10.
If he's there, and see, here's the thing: it's all going to depend on. And now you're hearing more and more of the report of them getting more back in the love with Jalen Carter because as much as Jalen Carter does have his off-the-field issues, they do have 2 of his former teammates on their team, Kobe Dean and Jordan Davis. And apparently, from what I've heard, is the one person that was really close to him and kept him in kind of in a better place was Jordan Davis. So not many other guys are going to know a guy better than his former teammates. So I just don't know if Carter's off-field issue will drop him all the way to 10. If they stay at 10, Murphy's a name I've heard. Nolan Smith, the DN from Georgia, is another one I've heard. I think it's going to be some sort of a defensive lineman at 10, if they stay at 10. Because most of us in this area know Howie Roseman loves trading back. So if they trade up, I can see him trade up maybe like 3 spots for Carter if they feel like he won't get to 10. If they stay at 10, I think it's a pass rusher, and I just hope it's not Lucas Van Ness. I'm not a big Van Ness guy. Just keep going back to the well. Go to Bama or Georgia or Clemson. Keep going to the well.
Yeah. Go for where the studs are at.
Always go. SEC is not college football. It's literally minor league NFL football. Keep going to the well. Keep going to the SEC, and good things will usually happen for you.
How are those 76ers doing for you right now?
They were down 49-44 at the half last time I checked, so not bad.
They're playing Brooklyn, right?
Yeah. And you kind of knew Brooklyn was going to come out after what happened in Game 1 and give them hell. I mean, Mikal Bridges, who was a Sixer for all of like 10 minutes on draft night a few years ago, is going to make them rep that every day for the rest of my life.
Well, and last night, Cleveland crapped the bed. So, everybody, of course.
It's a Cleveland team in the playoffs. What did you expect, George?
Well, the fans, of course, a lot of fans anyway, are like, that's it. We're done. That's it. It's like, guys, chill. There were 4 of the teams last night that are the underdogs won last night. Big deal. It's game 1. Relax.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't have Jetty Osman, guarding Brunson with the game on the line.
Yeah. That's the one concern with the Cavs for me is about their wings. Not necessarily. First of all, I am a Sixers fan, but when it comes to NBA, Darius Garland may be one of my favorite players in the league. But outside of him and Donovan Mitchell, I am very concerned with, and maybe pretty much Evan Mobley, who's again one of my favorite young players in the league. It just kind of gets concerned about what will happen. Like where is more scoring going to come from if it's not Garland and Mitchell? That's where the concern is. Like Mobley is probably, I would definitely say that Mobley's probably the 3rd scoring option. And when Jared Allen's going at the rim and he's getting his touches, he's easily one of the best running the floor centers in the league. But outside of those four, it's just everything else is, to me, is a little bit of a concern. Okoro's not the greatest shooter. He's a good defender, but
Right.
Dean Wade and Cedi Osman sometimes are just fun to watch because they're just funny to watch play basketball. And Karis LeVert, I like him, but he's definitely not from his Brooklyn days anymore.
No, that was a bad trade for us the way it's looking right now.
I mean, you got Jared Allen out of it, so it can't.
Well, that's true.
Jared Allen's easily one of the most underrated players in the league. I mean, the guy's going to give you a double-double and easily be a solid defensive big because even though now there's no stopping Joel Embiid, he has given Embiid problems in the past.
I mean, the biggest thing is you cannot let the Knicks get that many offensive damn rebounds. You got to get in there and take that rock from them because that was what killed them.
Yeah, the offensive rebounds were killing the Cavs.
Especially like in the last minute.
Oh, yeah, and that's when you need the stops the most. In a close game, you need the stops the most in the final.
Yeah, because now you're giving them another fresh 24.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, George, to answer your question, I'm wrong. The Sixers are now up by 3 with 3:50 to go in the third. They've outscored the Nets 20 quarter. And Joel Embiid only has 10 points. Holy crap.
Clint's not wrong. If they win.
Yeah, how'd you like Kevin Love's 18 points off the bench last night?
Did he really? Well, yeah, but it's because everybody for Miami got hurt.
And Miami won.
Yeah.
That's an 8 beating a 1.
Do we have an update on Giannis's after that fall from last night?
Lower back contusion or something, wasn't it?
I think so. Do we have like a tag for game 2 yet or no? Do we know if he's questionable? Is he playing? Because I know for a fact John Morant is doubtful for game 2 against the Lakers. I didn't know if Giannis had like a designation against him.
I know they're saying, what is it, for the Cavs Knicks that what's his name is doubtful heart. I guess he rolled an ankle last night or the other night.
That's a big piece off there. That's a big piece for the next.
Yes, is reporting that he should be able to return.
Okay. Cortisone shot and good to go.
Yeah.
Nothing good old cortisone can't help.
No doubt about it. All right, I know that Sam, you voiced it, and I haven't gotten to ask these guys. And after it being just a week or so, we're into our third week, technically going into baseball season. Your thoughts on the pitch clock and the epic nightmare that it looks like it's becoming?
Oh boy.
I think it's good for baseball.
It has its pros and its cons. I think, so I just went to my first game of the year last Sunday. I went to Phillies Reds. Got to watch the Phillies blow another 9th inning lead. Terrific. What else is new? Live, there's no issue with it whatsoever. You honestly do forget about it. The reason you just cannot forget about it on TV is because they will continuously not shut up about it. Like, okay, we get it. It's a rule change, but we don't need to hear about it every 10 minutes because you're going to make us get annoyed by this by just listening to it. The only thing I would tinker with is, if I'm not mistaken, they get 15 seconds with no men on and 20 seconds with men on base. I think it should just be a standard 20 seconds all around, because I think you're definitely seeing some of these pitchers, like, they're having to adjust their mechanics to it. And it's not just that, like, it goes back to the spring training thing, to the game that ended because the batter took too long to get back in the box. And people could say, oh, it's not a big deal. Well, fine, but what are you going to do in September when there's a game that's meaningful in the standings and that happens? That's the only thing is concerning with it. But honestly, over the past few weeks, I've kind of tend to forgot about it. I'm more worried about my team just getting destroyed by teams like the Cincinnati Reds, like they did on Saturday. So it's like I said, attending a game live, you honestly do forget about it. You forget it's even a thing. But I feel like if we would just I know there's things to tinker with it. If they would just stop talking about it as much, I honestly think we would just forget about it. That's just my opinion on it. I'm still not fully sold on it. I get speeding the game up. I've been there in those games where you're sitting there for 3 hours and it's a 2-1 game and everybody's bored, or you have those games that went 18, 19 innings. I've sat through 2 18-inning games in my 26 years of life. I probably lost a lot of hair over those games. But it has helped the game. They just need to they do have some things to figure out with it because, like I said, it's okay in spring training when that stuff happens, like the Braves and Red Sox. But what is going to happen in September if there's a game and the bases are loaded and a team in the standings trying to fight for a playoff spot and their batter to end the game is called out on strikes because he didn't get back in the box in time? That's where the areas of concern could be. It's how does this affect meaningful games? Not that now aren't meaningful, but like in September and hell, even in October.
I think it's good for baseball. I think the pitch clock is a good thing. I think widening the bases was a good thing. I think changing the game to modernize it and to make it more attractive to younger fans is a good thing.
Because they want it now.
It's not that you want it now. It's that you start a game at 8:00 on the East Coast, and by the time it finishes, it's almost midnight. You wonder why your TV viewership has dropped. The NBA is the same way. I wish the NBA playoffs weren't all seven game series in the playoffs. There should be a 3-game, a 5-game, and then a 7-game. Same in baseball.
I can get behind that.
The thing with the pitch clock is if you look at the average time of the game, it has dropped by 40 minutes.
Yeah. Wasn't there a game? Didn't the Angels and Red Sox just play for a game that was like an hour and 57 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah, it was less than 2 hours. Less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Look, I don't care if you don't like it. There's plenty of things that you like that I think are dumb.
Yeah.
Like the 49ers. However,
he was looking to get bounced.
That was intentional. That was very intentional.
you're lucky.
Oh, yeah.
You're lucky. That mouse button was hovering over the X.
Zolt brought you back in. I booted you out. He brought you back.
Should I ask what the tick with the Niners is?
That's my squad.
George's favorite team.
Browns by birthright, 49ers by choice.
The
Still my defensive tackle. I'm still upset about it.
and it's the same with my sport in NASCAR. I am so tired of people complaining about, well, we don't do it like we used to. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. You have to modernize or you're going to lose. The average NASCAR fan, the average median age of a NASCAR fan is 40 to 55. You wonder why the kids are going to F1 and IndyCar and dirt racing. It's because you're not appealing to them. You go to an F1 race and or IndyCar, you go to the Indy 500. You know what the one thing you can do at the Indy 500 that you can't do at a NASCAR race? Get cell service. Because the IndyCar tracks have made sure that you can get Wi-Fi everywhere. You're telling me we can't get that at Daytona or Charlotte or Bristol or Atlanta? You can't modernize a little bit? What is the one thing, if you're a fan, that you want to do when you're there if you see something awesome? You want to take a picture of it and post it, or a video and post it. You can't do that at a NASCAR race because there's barely any service.
Because
And
of
you
all the
wanna
flip
talk
phones.
about- What's that?
Oh,
I said because of all the flip phones.
Well, that too. Hey, I'm rocking an iPhone 11. I don't want to hear it. I'm old and crotchety.
oh my God, that is old compared to today's age.
I like my iPhone 11. It works.
Yeah.
But the thing is do you think they need to shorten the races because they're too long?
I think that going to kilometers instead of miles at some of them is a good idea.
Because some of these races, you turn the damn thing on, and you doze off, and you wake up, and there's still 15, 20 laps to go.
Yeah, look, there is no reason. You can complain about the dirt track all you want at Bristol. There is no reason to run a 250 lap race on dirt. None.
No, do like the old Saturday night shit, 45, 50 laps.
You get 150. Do it at 150 and call it a day. And if you really want to have fun, you do 150. You do 50 lap stage 1, 75 lap stage 2, and a 50 lap shootout in stage 3 and see what the hell they do.
I just need the race to be long enough for me to remember to switch my garage guy.
Well, you had that yesterday.
That's all. I literally check it. I'm like, how the hell is this in stage 3 already?
because it went caution free for the first 200 laps of a 400 lap race.
Get some good sleep. Okay.
Yeah, I honestly that kind of threw me when
So from one NASCAR guy to another.
Oh man.
I think Chipper won yesterday.
I know he's
I don't
mad
know.
because he's a Harvick guy.
Look, my wife's a Harvick guy. She was pissed too. The girl,
coulda had
Harvick
it.
girl. You get the idea.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I mean, he had a chance. He had it, and then that damn tire.
They blew her right front.
see, now I waited for George to put the logo up. Now that the logo's up, I'm taking it back to baseball. So
No, it's fine. It's fine. The thing with the pitch clock, and you can bitch about it all you want, but like, it needs to be there. They need to mod. I'm finally glad that over the last couple of seasons they made the rule that everybody has a DH.
right.
Oh my God.
I'm just bringing. Hey, let me throw numbers. You know what the hell?
No, it's not like anything you do.
No,
That's what you
not.
do.
It's not. I just make stuff up. So average time of game has gone from 3:03 last season, 3 hours 3 minutes, to 2 hours 38 minutes. It's definitely a shorter game. Significant. Now, before we go and say, well, this is ridiculous, this is crazy. No, they took the time of game down to what it was in the 80s. 1984, 2 hours 35 minutes. We just took this right back to how it used to be.
The only beef I have with that is going to opening day. You go to the damn bathroom, you miss an inning and a half, kind of waiting that long line. Like, you go into the bathroom, you're leading, you come out, you're losing. Like, what the hell happened?
You went to the bathroom.
You went to the bathroom. Watch any one of the 900 TVs that they have in the stadium, or I don't know, listen to the game that they're broadcasting over the speakers.
You couldn't hear it; it wasn't loud enough.
Well, then I'm sorry, carrier radio. I don't fucking know.
I mean, just Mr. Moneybags here going to opening day. Jesus.
I got free tickets, thank you.
Well done.
He doesn't have that Rite Aid money, Zolt.
I just got the connections like Rite Aid.
I mean, I didn't go to opening day. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, here.
Yeah, and it was 12 rows behind home plate to the left.
You want to hear something heartbreaking? Try buying Phillies home opener tickets just to have the game postponed for expected rain, and it never rains, and day at 3:00, and who works till 2:00 in the afternoon? This guy.
Yeah.
They literally just, I mean, it wasn't opening day. They literally just pulled that here in Detroit over the weekend, I think. It was a 5-hour rain delay, and it never rained.
Oh, it was because the game was scheduled at 3:05 that Thursday, and it didn't rain a speck till like 7:30. And I said, "There's no way with these new rules they wouldn't have done that to get that game in." I was so annoyed. But I went to the Sunday for the NL Champions ring ceremony, so I didn't get too upset about it.
I don't have a problem with the shift. I don't see the big deal in that.
I love the fact that there's no shift. I couldn't stand the shift. The one rule that nobody will get me accustomed with is the runner on second base to start an extra inning. There's no way you'll convince me that rule is good for the game. It's stupid.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
A pitcher is losing a game.
I'm again going to listen. I again am going to be a contrarian and say I like it.
A pitcher is going to lose a game by allowing one that he did not allow on base.
You had 9 innings. It's not like just one team gets the runner at second. You had 9 innings to seal the deal, and you couldn't do it. Well, guess what? Now we're going to give you both an advantage to try to see who can win it.
Good pitcher's goal, though.
At that point, it comes down to strategy, because if you got somebody who can hit it into the gap, you drop a single into the gap, guess what? You better play better defense or take care of the game in the first 9 innings.
So so just because the teams in 9 innings can't do it, why do we have to give them a freebie run? Why can't they try to earn their runs? How does this, first of all, I know where this is going to go. People are going to say it speeds the game up from extra innings, and people don't like sitting through those innings. If you don't want to sit through all the innings, leave.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't care if you leave.
There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason for a baseball game to go 23, 24, 25, 26 innings. Just isn't. There just isn't.
For one, I've sat through 2
That's
going 18 innings, and I'm this maybe now. Look, nobody shares the same opinions that I do. They were the 2 of the funnest games I ever went to. There's entertainment purposes to that. Now, yes, people should not have to sit through that many innings. I agree with that. But this runner on second rule is it doesn't. I don't like it. I don't agree with it, and I probably never will. The pitch clock, I'm getting sold on. I don't completely hate it. I also don't think that the pitch clock's going to draw that much more of an audience that people think they are.
I tell you what, then put the runner on first. I don't care.
Okay, hang on. I got a solution. And maybe this is just the hockey guy in me talking. Don't put anybody on base. But you know what? If you go 3 extra innings and nobody's scored, nobody has a lead, guess what? That's called a tie.
Tie. Yep. Agreed.
So you go with the old win, loss, tie. Honestly,
why not?
Here you go. You go 3 extra innings. Nobody scores. You go to 1. You take your 4 best hitters from each team.
No.
First one to hit a dinger.
I am not a fan of a shootout.
I'm all for it. No, we're having a swing off. We're doing it.
We're gonna do shootout. We're gonna do a shootout in baseball.
You know what? If it brings people to the stadium, the hell?
That would draw crowd. That would draw people.
Like a telephone.
There are certain things with nostalgia and tradition that you cling to, right? That should never change.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. Texas and Oklahoma should play each other on the second Saturday of October ad infinitum in Dallas at the old Cotton Bowl. Penn State on the second or third Saturday of every October should play a night game, and that stadium should look like somebody just opened a fresh pack of Fruit of the Looms with all the white up there. Michigan should gather in the end zone and sing Hail to the Victors when they win.
Here.
Michigan State should continue and ad infinitum be the little brother to every university in the Big Ten. Iowa should somehow baffle everybody by beating Ohio State by 60 once in a blue moon.
I'm going back to your Michigan State thing, not Rutgers. They shouldn't be little brother to Rutgers.
Rutgers shouldn't even be in the Big Ten. We've all said this.
Rutgers and Maryland it's fine.
Yeah.
Does Rutgers even play football? I forgot.
Yeah.
I mean, they show up, but
do they?
They get paid.
Going 4 wide at a dirt track or at the Daytona 500 to acknowledge the fans should always happen because it's something cool to see. There are traditions in sports that should remain. However, with rules, with television, with streaming now, with and not even getting into the economic impact of what we're all going through, it is half a paycheck to take a family of 4 to a ball game. And that's just tickets, parking, and food. That's not including souvenirs at all.
For me, was just my tickets, honestly. It depends on where.
I mean, for base tickets to a ball game, like the Guardians or the Reds or the Pirates, with travel, parking, food for a family of 4, you're in the $400 to $500 range.
Yeah.
And so that's half a paycheck for most people, or at least a quarter of a paycheck or a third of a paycheck.
I'm not afraid to disclose that's all of my paycheck.
So for baseball or the NHL or the NBA to want to revise their rules to speed the game up, I'm all for it because you have to make the game accessible. You have to reinvent. You have to.
Sorry. Wait till you see Chipper's comment pop up. You'll understand.
It is, Chipper. That's why I'm the NASCAR guy, you asshole. That is my job.
Hang on. I got another tradition for you. Who's in first in the fantasy league?
Oh,
you are by like 200 at this point.
That could all change this week at Talladega.
Carry on. Yes, I could be up by 194.
Just wait till we get to the summer and you forget to set it 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, like I have already.
There were 2 races. Listen, you had a 500-point lead at one point last summer and then squandered it. And then Adam and Clint caught up to you.
This is true. This is all true.
So I am not losing hope yet. When I get passed by Akers, then I will delete myself from the league.
He's just quit.
Is he in the league?
He is. He's bruised, tired.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But you have to adapt. You have to, or you're gonna end up like these leagues that don't exist anymore. You're gonna become a niche.
Yeah, no, you do. There is an adjustment period to all sports and what they have to do with their rules. And I'm not saying, like I said, some of the rules I agree with. Like I said, the pitch clock, I'm not against. I'm starting to get used to it. Like I said, you go to a game live, you don't even know it's there.
You don't even catch it.
I forgot it was there. I was looking. I think I looked to my left. Oh yeah, it's right there because they have a pitch clock on. In Citizens Bank Park for the Phillies, they have, I think, on each side of a home plate, like on each side where the dugouts are, and then they have 2 in center field. They have one towards like left center field, and then they have one like right where the bullpens are in center field. So, but you honestly you forget 99% of the time it's there. The only reason you really know about it, like I said, is when they're on TV, they don't shut up about it. They talk about that more than they talk about the games they're broadcasting.
No, I can't watch the games here because we have Bally Sports, and I don't get that on any platform. I'm not paying $20 a month to watch Guardians games.
Honestly.
Redonkulous.
the thing that, other than the rules and speeding up the game and making it more accessible for people, the thing that these teams and these leagues really need to work on is the fan experience.
Yeah.
And here, Chipper, I will bring it back to NASCAR because you will understand. If you go to a NASCAR race, and Adam will fully get it. What's the one thing you can bring into a NASCAR race that you can't bring into a football stadium or a baseball stadium? Coolers. Full of what?
Beer.
And what else?
Anything you want.
Food.
Right? Food.
Now there's a restriction on the size.
Right.
It's usually, a foot by a foot. It's not a big cooler. But if you're going with a group of 5 people, you can bring in 5 coolers.
Yeah.
Chipper, they do. It's called Dollar Dog Night.
Oh my God! Did anybody see the videos of Citizens Bank Park when they did Dollar Dog Night last week?
Mm-mm.
These idiots literally started a food fight with them. There were literally hot dogs being thrown all over the ballpark.
Ain't nobody got nothing on nickel beer night.
Yeah.
Can't beat nickel beer night.
Never.
Just look up the videos. You're going to have to adjust for the fan experience, because if you're charging, even for cheap seats, 50, 60, 70 bucks.
Yep.
And then you go to the concession stand and a hot dog is
$8.
$6.50 and a 16 ounce pop is $9.50 or whatever it is. Like, I'm sorry.
Prime example.
I'll go buy a pack of Oscar Mayer. I'll grill them at my house. I'll make my own hot dogs, and I'll watch the game from my couch.
Yeah.
Prime example, because when I went for the home opener, they have a place called Dante's Inferno Pizza.
Yes.
And they give you the little Ford personal pan slices or whatever. So I got 2 of those and one of the souvenir cups of Mountain Dew.
Hold on, let me guess. Let's take a guess.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What was it again?
2 little personal pan pizzas and a souvenir drink.
2 personal pizzas, souvenir
and a drink.
The souvenir cup, 11. And so that souvenir cup with the drink, that's 11.
Just take a guess.
If you got free refills, each pizza was
no refills.
No refills.
Just take a guess on the total, George. Don't give out the number. Just give a total guess.
27, 32. $32.
Anybody else guessing or
35?
I was gonna say like 28.
I'll go 29.
It was 30 even.
Jesus.
Exactly.
Just to go along with what he's getting, I get where he's going with that, because I had left work early, so I hadn't eaten anything all day, and I should have known better, because I knew it was going to be expensive, but I couldn't wait any longer to eat because I was starting to feel nauseous and sick. So I needed to get something to eat right then and there.
Yeah.
No, look, Chipper's got a point. Yeah, minor league games are way cheaper. I understand that. I've got the Akron Arrow, the Rubber Ducks, the Arrows, right down the street. Or if I want to go watch AAA ball, I'll make a 90-minute jaunt down to Columbus and go watch the Clippers.
You can go watch the Captains.
Well, you go to watch the Captains at Eastlake, and all 4 of them are all the same. They're all the same at this point.
Well, yeah, but you got the Clippers in Columbus, you got the Rubber Ducks over in Akron, you got the
Captains in Eastlake, and you got the Crushers in Avon.
But the Crushers aren't they're independent league.
No, they are MLB's new farm system. They are partnered with MLB. In fact, this year, they also have to turn around and follow by these brand new Major League Baseball rules. So the Crushers game, you have a pitch clock counter. You have everything MLB has.
Well, you want to make baseball more exciting
this year.
You want to make baseball more exciting? I know what we can do. Adapt the Savannah Bananas rules.
Oh, yeah.
That would be amazing. All right, wait. How about? All right, so wait. Did you guys see the Savannah Bananas thing where they had that giant bat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the rule: 3 extra innings, no one scores, swing off with that bat.
I'm in.
I love it.
We'll be there for 2 hours, but it'll be entertaining.
That would be good.
Losing team has to sign Johnny Damon back.
Oh, well, we already had him once. All right.
I got beat by the 2009 World Series, so we all know. But back to like the souvenir thing, it's kind of funny. The Phillies used to do, and like we talk about minor league ball, we had 2 here. I'm like 40 minutes away from Lakewood, so that's where the Blue Claws play for the Phillies. So I usually go there too, because the ballpark is actually like beautiful. It's so cool. Like it's a very worthy drive to go there. And then I live in Trenton, so I'm right by the Trenton Thunder. Of course, they're no longer affiliated with the Yankees. They're not part of the MLB Draft League. So, but that's what we do if we don't feel like going to Philadelphia. And I won't even sniff New York going to a Yankees or Mets game. I don't got that kind of stuff. But nor would I go to a Mets game because I'm a Phillies fan. But yeah, but like, so the Phillies, like to that souvenir cup thing, it would cost you for the cup, but then you would have a sticker on for a refill, and they stopped doing that this year.
A lot of clubs stopped doing that.
One cool thing I will say though that the Guardians did, and I'm pissed I didn't get one, is it's a baseball bat, but it's a mug that people were putting their beers in. The mug by itself was only $10.
It's a
But
wooden
it was
bat,
sold out by it's clear.
Oh, is it?
And it's got like a red handle.
There's a company that makes them. They're wooden.
Yeah,
Right.
I know which one you're talking about because there's shot glasses and everything with it.
Yep.
So you want to talk about fan experience? Zolt, you'll appreciate this. Last week, before the Penguins lost to the Blackhawks and effectively removed themselves from the playoffs, that day I got an email from the Penguins about getting your 2023 NHL playoff tickets.
Nice.
Beat the rush.
I was like, yeah, but they've got to like win tonight, and somebody else has to lose for them to get in. And then they effectively sealed the deal by losing to the Blackhawks. I was like, well, shit, never mind.
Delete that email.
I mean, just think, we got 5 different guys on this panel, and we all have 5 different teams we root for, and hockey.
Yeah.
Hang on. Who is actually still in the playoffs? Or who's in the playoffs? Yeah, you are.
What's that?
The Avs.
Yeah, the Avs are in it too.
The Avs are in.
There you go.
The Avs are in it. The Lightning are in it. The Penguins, the Red Wings, and the Flyers are out.
Again, what's the playoff?
It's this magical place where the Penguins manage to lose every year in the first round.
You guys are. Well, here's the joke I always make. The last time my team won a Stanley Cup, my mother was like 14.
Holy crap.
The
Fair
Blackhawks
enough.
haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1975. They've been to 1 Stanley Cup. Well, they've been to technically 2 Stanley Cups since I was born, but the one was in 97. I was 1. Whoopee.
Oh, good Lord.
My son's favorite hockey team has won 2 Stanley Cups since he's been alive.
And that is,
The Penguins.
of course.
He plays hockey though, and he played for the Sharks.
All right.
He didn't make. They just had tryouts for his team. He didn't make it.
Really?
For next year?
Yeah. It's a. I'll talk about it off the air.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, well, we know there's going to be more. we know there's more. Gotcha.
But you have to. I think with everybody, you have to adjust the fan experience. That's my big thing. It's like
He's just got to get a shot in on you somehow.
Chipper, add another 0 to that.
Oh,
George is an eldritch entity.
goodbye.
Nah, see, he ain't gonna kick him. He's just gonna mute him. That's all he's gonna do. He's already booted him once. He knows what happens if a second time happens.
He gets to see him punk.
Oh, he don't care.
Yeah, the bad thing about it is I think if Tampa finds a way to get past Toronto. Our consolation prize is we get to play Boston if they win, which I'm sure they will.
Boston is just a buzzsaw mowing through people.
Literally.
You know, every sport I have a favorite player that's not on my team, except for hockey, because now, like, I won't lie, I do follow hockey, but I mostly follow the Flyers. I've never loved the player more than I love David Pastrnak. I've never the dude is just amazing.
Yeah.
Then he has like 45 career goals against the Flyers in the past like 4 years. So,
And Chipper, you can kiss my arse because I was 2-3 when the Flyers won.
The thing that about the Bruins this year is like it's scary how good they are, and it's like as a Penguins fan, I can't stand the Bruins because that's who we have to go through most of the time. However, it is something amazing to watch someone be that good and just destroy people. It reminds me of some of the Red Wings teams of the 90s.
Yep.
Except Boston actually has the experience to win playoff series.
This is true.
that Red Wings team had no issue sweeping the Flyers in '97.
And you know what? We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for playing.
I knew my Flyers came out eventually.
There were a lot of first round upsets leading up to things like that. A lot of them.
You know, normally I talk about how, Tampa gets on a run going into the playoffs. I'm looking at their last 5. They went 1-4. The only win came against Detroit. Not that that's saying much. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes because I know Austin Matthews has been running his mouth saying that it's going to be Maple Leafs in 4.
Oh, good Lord.
I could see the Maple Leafs in 6.
I don't see it going. I don't see it being a 4.
No, it's not 4. But I could see the Maple Leafs winning in 6.
I have Tampa Bay winning in 7
Damn.
because it's Toronto.
Seriously,
but you got to take that. Toronto's known for this.
Yeah, that's until they show me something else. This is what I'm going to say.
I just want one quick thing because I'm on my ESPN here looking at all the scores and whatnot. Did they seriously cancel or postpone the Guardians Tigers game due to cold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
What's it, 10 degrees?
Probably 40.
It's 35 with a wind chill in the 20s.
20s, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Mother
Nature. Mother Nature went, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're not playing."
And it's sleeting real nasty, so I can understand why they canceled it.
Looks like your Sixers are going to get the win.
Did anyone see the video of Fenway today before they delayed the game with Ohtani warming up?
All the buses or something?
No, the mound was literally like underwater.
Oh, was it really?
Hey, we played in snow. I don't want to hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, the guy's probably going to make $600 million soon. Can we not have him pitching on a thing that's underwater, basically?
Again, we've played in snow. I don't want to hear it.
Fair enough.
And we're right off the lake.
Yeah.
Guys at the lakes. Yeah, we heard.
Did the Oilers make the playoffs?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they playing?
The Kings.
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Game 1's at 10 o'clock
I'm
in
gonna
about
watch
8
that.
minutes.
Speaking of Ohtani.
Listen, I want Connor McDavid to go as far as he can go.
I really hope they do something. I don't want to see Edmonton just get bounced immediately.
Yeah.
That's ditto.
Is it a rumor or a joke that I saw that they said that Winnipeg was leaving?
I don't think Winnipeg's going anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say they made the playoffs, so I don't think they're going anywhere.
No.
Speaking of that, Zolt, you posted an article in our chat last week that I wanted to talk about because I thought it was a good idea.
The hell did I do?
You posted that article about the baseball expansion with a possible team in Salt Lake.
I did. Yeah, that was kind of a random thing. To be honest, that's why I posted it. I'm like, okay, this is out of nowhere.
It is out of nowhere, but I can't honestly say I don't disagree with it.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that's okay. Today I saw a thing that NHL wants to go back to Atlanta. No,
Nah.
No.
we've tried
Didn't
this.
work out the first time.
Exactly.
Weren't they
Atlanta
the
is
Predators?
well.
Thrashers.
Thrashers.
The Thrashers. Atlanta is well known for not being able to support franchises.
What would be like right now, if there were to say an expansion team for hockey, where would be the best place right now?
Portland.
I mean, literally, you're right across from Vancouver.
You got Seattle right there.
Yeah, and you got Seattle right there. Honestly, the Toronto area could support a second team. I don't think the NHL will ever do that, but they could support a second team.
They could.
Yeah, they really could.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I don't hate it. I don't like it, but it's because it's Wisconsin.
I just gonna say,
I get it. Look,
You got the Brewers, the Packers, the Bucks. I mean, honestly, hockey with that could work.
I would look at four. There's 4 cities I would look at if I were the NHL.
Put it
I'm
in
thinking of
Quebec.
one.
Put it in Quebec and be done with
Quebec.
it.
Yeah.
Quebec.
Yeah.
You have Montreal right there.
Yeah, but the Nordiques.
Yes,
They won't
Quebec
bring
should
it.
never have lost their team. They
Yeah.
never should have lost that team. They lost it because there was a feud over a stadium.
Yep.
Same thing. Seattle.
How about that?
There's 4. If you're gonna bring in 2 teams, okay. Let's put one automatically in Quebec. All right, I'll give you that. But for the other one, there's 4 cities I would look at. Milwaukee, Indianapolis, Portland, Salt Lake.
Why not New Orleans?
New Orleans is too much of a transient town. It's way more transient than Vegas.
That's just the first city I thought of.
New Orleans is a large market, yes, but I'm looking at areas that have a support for hockey built into the area.
Okay, fair enough.
Good night, bub. And Indianapolis is one. Milwaukee is another. Salt Lake, Portland. And I think that the Western states are severely underserved when it comes to professional sports. And I think that leagues should look at expanding out further.
I mean, do Mormons know how to play hockey? Sorry.
Wow, that number just dropped to 0 in real damn quick, didn't it?
Where'd everybody go?
They've been long gone.
Damn. Wow.
Look, Jordan's still trying to catch up.
Like I'm hearing George, and then I'm watching his video. It is worse than a Godzilla movie.
It's trying to speed up.
Yep. Welcome to my internet. It's
So
getting
we're
worse.
all here on this nice little call here, and George is over there in a slideshow.
Like the old peel back when you do the book.
George has got that 56K dial-up modem going.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
It's on 500 freaking megabit too.
That's a
I
good
don't
idea.
think the Coyote. Look,
Chipper, you just move the Coyotes. You could have just ended the sentence right there. Just move them.
Coyotes in general.
you can move the Coyotes. I think. I think you could probably move a couple of teams, but if you're going to expand, I think the way to expand is to increase your footprint as far as where you're at.
I'm trying to think. We really don't need nothing on the East Coast.
I was just gonna say, do we want to bring back the Whale?
The Hartford Whalers?
Hartford, yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Can we just move the Flyers for the sake of moving the Flyers?
That bad, huh?
It's they can't like okay. I'm not a big fan of a team going outright and tanking a season. I'm a Sixers fan. I saw them do that once, but they
Twice. They did it twice.
Okay, fair enough. They can't even like position themselves better in the draft, right? By winning games that it was like they should have like games they should have lost, they won, and I'm like, okay, this is the door. And then it's like you hear we're not far off. I'm like, you don't even have a second star player, better alone a star player. What do you mean you're not far off?
Look, the Penguins didn't make the playoffs for the first time in 17 years and fired a coach that won them not one, but 2 Stanley Cups.
It's all about what you're doing for me lately.
So is our lately 1975.
Yeah. Stop living, as they say, stop living in the past, bro. It's okay.
That's what we can. Flyers is living the past. Oh my god.
So if you're going to expand baseball, you're at 31 teams right now.
I believe so.
So you would bring in one team to make it an even 32, or would you bring in 2 teams to make it 33?
Give the NL Central back an extra team like the Astros, and so they have too many teams in their division.
Or you make it an even 32 and you redraw the divisions.
I think the Astros need to go back to the National League anyways.
I like the Astros in the American League, just like when Milwaukee was in the American
Far
League.
away from me as possible.
Come here.
So if baseball were to add expansion teams, where would they be? Is the question.
That's perfect.
I mean, it's hard thinking of many for baseball, but like, where are some ideas that they could add an expansion team?
Nashville's the one that keeps getting brought up a lot. But
I was going to bring that up. I would absolutely love to see a team in Nashville. I would make that trip.
And I think the one thing you're going to get is I think the A's are going to end up moving to Vegas.
That's Oakland. Here's the thing: Oakland isn't just dying in baseball. Just think of this: the Warriors left; they're now in San Francisco. The Raiders left. Oakland as a sports town in general is dead.
Yeah, I mean, what are they saying? They got the lowest attendance every week or every day, or I mean, like they're like the lowest attendance in years.
Well, I mean, my God, look at opening day. I know that I think their fan base all knew they were probably gonna stink. But opening day, you got Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani in the building, and nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Right.
Like
Charlotte.
I know
Charlotte would be a good one, Chipper.
Like I know you don't go to see the opponent team, but like guys like of that magnitude, you just go to see that. But yeah, Oakland, the A's are they're bound for Vegas. I think that's a given. But no, the national ideas are.
Believe me, like I know you said, like when Mike Trout and I think next month they come here to Cleveland. I want to try to go to that series too. Yeah. I want to see the teams that I haven't seen and see players that I have never saw because that's the whole draw of going to a game for me is to see teams that I've never seen.
Yeah.
Look, the smartest thing that any professional sports league did was baseball and the NFL or the NFL and the NHL in moving 2 teams to Vegas.
Oh yeah, because Vegas is going to be ridiculously huge in anything because again, it's Vegas.
But you could, I mean, I wish they'd move the Oakland A's out to Vegas.
I think they're going to eventually because it's just what's going on in Oakland. It's just a joke at this point. It's all that Moneyball crap they've been doing for the past 25 plus years, and now it's like. Now they don't have much building block. They're playing in a stadium that I'm surprised that it literally has possums inhabiting it now.
Charlotte could support an MLB team. Nashville, I'm not sure of. But I would really like to see sports leagues go out west a little bit more.
What about bringing back the Expos?
I'm not against it.
Neither am I. There's 3. If There's two teams that I would always love to see come back. One of them is the Expos, and in the NBA, it'd be the Seattle Supersonics.
Yes.
Fans got completely screwed by out of their team.
The Expos deal, I mean, they still technically exist because they're in Washington.
True.
And the Nationals still own the rights to the name. So
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
you would have to have Nationals ownership give up rights to the It would be like when the city of Cleveland and the city of Pittsburgh sued the city of Baltimore and the NFL for all of the records, the colors, and the name from Cleveland to stay in Cleveland, and then Baltimore became its own franchise.
Oh, okay.
Which is why all of Baltimore's records start in like 95, 96.
I think so.
So you would have to separate out from when Montreal moved to DC, and anything after that point would be its own thing, and all those records would go back to Montreal.
Okay.
I do miss the old Expos logo, though.
Me too.
I miss the old Pirates logo.
I don't even know if I remember that one.
I don't even remember that.
It was the Buccaneer.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. They wear it occasionally on a special uniform.
They do. The yellow hat with the red bill. I dig that hat.
It's so like I want to like the Pirates, but I just can't be in a Clevelander, and it's anything Pittsburgh.
Look, the Pirates are everybody's lovable brother that gets beat up all the time.
So we here, put your head on my shoulder. It's okay.
Pretty much. Look, when I was in middle school, I'd come home and watch baseball. The two teams that were always on were the Cubs and the Pirates, and they were always playing each other because they were playing at Wrigley at 2:00 in the afternoon. Plus,
that's why I was a Cubs fan up until they beat us in the World Series, and I was like, the hell with them.
And plus, my whole family is from Pennsylvania, so like that was the Penguins and the Pirates are the only two Pennsylvania teams that stuck.
Fair enough.
We'll say this about the PNC Park is actually very, very beautiful.
It is.
PNC Park is one of the best ballparks to go see a game in.
Without doubt. I just went late, and I loved it so much. Going back again in August.
I love the view from behind home plate or first base side of the bridge and the river behind the outfield. And when you leave the stadium and you go across the bridge and you go into like the art district, there's all kinds of good restaurants to eat down there.
Yeah.
And parking is not for being in the city. Parking is not awful either.
Oh no. Here's what I said. If you are a person who likes to, and this isn't just for baseball, this is in general, if you like to travel and you would like to go to a city that's not as highly standard like New York or Philly, Pittsburgh's a very nice city to go to.
Pittsburgh has enough of the industrial scars of the 70s.
Yeah.
That they've become like architecturally beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because they scrubbed that city from top to bottom when they filmed Batman there.
Yeah.
They did. But it's a very nice city.
It is. It really is.
And going to see a Pens game in Pittsburgh is a nice time too.
I'll put that on my bucket list next time. Maybe Flyers are out there, so I can watch the one.
Don't go there wearing Flyers gear. You might not make it out alive.
I'm not. Trust me.
Is that really a rivalry, like an in-state thing?
It is an in-state thing.
Okay.
Oh, it's definitely a state thing. But yeah, Pittsburgh's definitely a nice place to visit. I went for 3 days, and I'm going back and looking an extra day because I want to just go have like 2 full days there to go just like in the city.
There's a restaurant down in the art district. It's called Siena Mercado. Go eat there.
Noted.
And you got to eat at Purgatory.
That's another good spot.
I believe the first full day I'm there, I'm catching Pirates card.
That'll be a good time.
Hell
That's it. Listen, the Cardinals ballpark in St. Louis is another good spot to see a game.
That's my drive. That is one I've always wanted to say. I want to go to Busch Stadium. I have to get there one day.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
The fans are awesome too.
Oh yeah.
The game I was at, I was in St. Louis for wrestling, and the game I was at, it was the Cardinals, and I want to say the Brewers, I think. But through 8 innings, the Brewers pitcher had a no-hitter going. And the Cardinals fans started clapping and cheering for the Brewers guy because he was playing like, you want to talk about like knowledgeable and appreciative fans of a game? It's Cardinals baseball fans.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Zolt looks bored.
He's crunching numbers. He's fine.
Right.
Oh, speaking of numbers, you got any odds games for us in again?
And I'm sorry, any odds games?
Yeah.
Like the game show thing?
Yeah, that was entertaining as fuck the other day.
I'm sure it was. However, it is 10 after 10. We have to close out the show.
So no go this week. Next week's a different story.
I was gonna say throw in the chat what topic you want the odds for, and I can come up with the game show.
I look, whatever you want, I'm in.
The odds of Bruiser beating Zolt this week in fantasy.
Oh, I can give you those now.
As he ignores it. I feel bad for George. He's had so many difficulties.
He's got a lot. Difficulties that are lots tonight.
Well, at least by using the phone, I'm not doing the Godzilla thing, so
True.
It's true.
I have to figure out what in the Blue Blazers is wrong with the damn desktop connection. That has to be what's left. It's the computer itself. Well, I'll definitely have to tinker with it quickly. Don't have a whole lot of time to not be prepared for 2 other podcast shows. Well, we are up on our time. We've gone a little overtime. Bruiser, great to see you back. Glad that your internet is actually working normal.
Glad that I paid the bill. That's fine.
Hey, I've been paying the bill, and look what the hell happened to me.
17 weeks later.
No.
Oh, I don't want to. I'm already at what? 1, 2, 3, almost. Yeah, I'm at 13 right now. So yeah, going to be tons of fun. So, nice to see that the ship is in some really smooth looking shape there, sir.
It is. It's it's doing really good, and it's going to look really nice pulling into Monaco tomorrow.
Yeah.
Monaco, Michigan.
Dude, what to be in? So Monaco for tomorrow. All right. Make sure I don't call you.
I'll get you a postcard.
All right. And don't forget about the shot glass.
You get a magnet for a fridge and like it.
Sam, I hope you had a good time. Thank you very much for coming on and hanging out with
Appreciate it.
Oh, guys, I'll tell you right now. Like I said, I've had over a week now since I've done my last show on my platform, and probably have for at least a few more weeks as we try to relaunch everything. I've been going through withdrawal from not doing shows, and it's not real fun. I've had a blast tonight with you guys. This is fun talking basically a little bit of everything.
That's what we do.
But yeah, this is definitely a blast. Definitely a blast. Definitely going to have to come back on again.
Anytime. The door is always open. Always.
Awesome. And George, you got my invite to our Facebook group, this Monday show in there every week. Feel free, brother. Go right ahead.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
No
And
problem.
we'll definitely have to turn around and do a major collaboration with a panel upcoming.
Oh yeah.
You know, we get some of your folks in on it too.
Oh yeah.
Maybe get that resident Steeler guy.
And we'll think about it.
Yeah, that was easy. No.
Yeah. For everybody else on the crew, we'll see you on the flip side.